way. I'm Ro Goldberg, and it's time for my housewife buddies and I to go AWOL again. We get away from our guys once a year and spend a fun-filled evening together. Last year we met at Janice Harper's site.
Hi, everyone.
Janice is the creator of these comedy cabaret performances and the co-founder, with me, of our group, Truth to Trailer Trash.
Thanks, Ro. I really appreciate that. And I'm so grateful for you for helping me found this crazy Readers Theater group that we put together. Last year, when we had our AWOL night, I took you around the world with wine.
In fact, we traveled around the world with so much wine, we lost Jody Hansen, remember? She and her husband moved back to Washington State.
We miss you, Jody. Gosh. Oh, and the year before that, we went AWOL at Patty Wigg's site. What was your theme that year?
Oh my goodness. If I remember correctly, it's a margarita
Yes.
blast.
Margarita.
yes.
Five of us drank so many margaritas we could have floated a boat.
We did. We did.
And next year, we're going AWOL at Mary Kay's site.
Oh,
Get prepared, because we're going to be trucking on down to the trucking millers.
yes.
What do you think you'll have in store for us, Mary Kay?
That's way too far away to think about yet, bro.
Yeah, I know.
You got some tantalizing things set up on your table here.
I know.
What will we be having?
It's Martini Madness. So, grab a chair, ladies. We've got some serious drinking to do.
So where did Steve decide to hide tonight?
Oh, Steve's trying, he's starting a new business, so he's super busy.
That's
And he's still working at DCPI, the church planting group.
Right, yeah.
And he said they were holding an urgent meeting tonight. Urgent?
Well, that's good. That'll keep him out of our hair.
That's true. Good point.
But that reminds me, I have to share a story about one of those congregations. They had a guest pastor for 3 weeks who was really a kick. The first Sunday, he said he just received some brand new false teeth, and he only spoke for 8 minutes.
Oh, well, that's my kind of preaching.
Well, on the second Sunday, he only talked for 10 minutes. However, last Sunday, he talked for 2 hours and 48 minutes.
Oh, my poor kidneys. Oh, my goodness.
Well, why did he speak so long? Well, the congregation had to practically mob him to get away from the pulpit. When they asked him what happened, he explained that the first Sunday, his gums hurt so badly he could only talk for 8 minutes. And the second Sunday, they still hurt and he could only talk for 10. But that third Sunday, he put in his wife's teeth in by mistake and he couldn't shut up!
Last year. Did I miss a text or something telling us to bring a bunch of jokes?
I didn't get one.
No text. But I am going to be asking you to do a few things that'll be helped along with the martinis.
I don't know, Ro. I'm not much of a martini drinker.
Yeah, that's what Jody said.
If you could be Jody, because we all know that Jody did last year.
But you know what, Mary Kay, you might like those flavored martinis.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, flavored with absolute.
Good for you, Patty.
No, seriously, I've only prepared girly girl martinis. This one is called a lemon drop.
Ooh, love lemon drops. Lemon
You're gonna love it, Mary Kay.
Oh, is it gonna make us pucker up?
Oh, pucker up all the
That's later.
I love
Okay.
One of my favorite things.
Oh, look at
This is such, I love this night of friends getting together. I mean, this is such a wonderful thing.
Okay, I think I need a toast.
All right,
a
toast.
It only takes a moment to get a crush on someone, and an hour to like someone, a day to love someone, but a lifetime to forget someone. those words in the same fashion.
Yeah, we did.
Yep, finished, complete, yeah.
But they don't always mean the same thing.
Really?
Well, okay, Ro, but explain that.
Well, I read about this linguistic conference that was being held in London, England. And the final challenge to the linguists was, some say there is no difference between the words complete and finished. And they were asked to explain the difference in a way that's easy to understand.
Okay.
Okay, so the winner's response was, when you marry the right woman, you are complete.
Ah, perfect, perfect.
If you marry the wrong woman, you are finished. And when the right woman catches you with the wrong woman, you're completely And that answer received a 5-minute standing ovation.
Oh my God! Well, that is. I love it. You know, as a writer, I like things like that, the word plays, anagrams, things like that. But I was reading something by the Harvard School of Medicine.
Ooh, Harvard
They
School.
were doing pretty elite and prestigious. They were doing a study on why women like Asian food.
Why?
And the reason is because wonton, spelled backward, is not now.
Well, I really only like the one.
Why?
You only
Why?
because I drank my lemon drop all gone, and one spelled backwards is now. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm fine, but it really is good.
What a whim.
As long as you're pouring, darling.
I know.
So it's been a while since we've all gone AWOL. How's your year been, ladies?
Oh, Jim and I celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary last July. And we took this long cruise, a month-long cruise to celebrate. We flew to Athens, and we just cruised all the way through the Mediterranean, all the way to Fort Lauderdale. It was fantastic. It really was.
Well, Bob and I took a it seemed like this big road trip in our coach. And if there was any curvy road or a steep road or anything like that in the state of Oregon, we found it. Only to end up on the Oregon coast that was so cold, we froze to death. We finally left and came home back to the ranch. What can I say? How about you, Mary Kay?
Well, we spent the summer in Minnesota. Lots of family time, grandkids, and then Steve and I worked some too. So what about you, Ro?
Went to Alaska twice.
Oh!
Steve and I house and dog sat for friends for 3 weeks. And then I went back with my friend Jill, and we stayed with our hiking buddy Carol for a week.
Carol, she lives in Alaska?
In the summer.
Oh, wow. Well, so that had to be quite an adventure.
Oh, it was. Alaska is so beautiful, and Steve and I saw and did as much as we possibly could. And also when I was with Carol and Jill.
Of course.
Well, did you and Jill fly up together?
Well, we met in Portland, because I stayed there a few days with my daughters who lived there, and then Jill came in the next day, and then we flew to Anchorage together. But so get this. Well, I had a little bit of an adventure on my last night.
You always have adventures.
But girls, this is between us.
Oh, sure.
Okay,
Between
go.
us.
Go first.
Just between us. Pretend it's just between us.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I wanted to be close to the airport for the next morning's flight, so I booked a hotel room that was real close. Now I'm all alone, and Jill's not flying in till the next morning, okay? And I'm real achy because my girls and I went for a long bike ride, and I decided I just needed a massage before getting on the plane the next day.
I think a massage is a good idea.
So I looked through the phone book.
The what?
The phone book, you remember those? Big yellow book.
Used to sit on it.
This was a really cheap hotel.
I have it down. I still have a big yellow book. And I found this full-page ad for a guy calling himself Tender Tony. Very handsome man with assorted physical skills flexing in the photo. And he had all the right muscles in all the right places. Thick, wavy hair, long, powerful legs, dancing smile, six-pack abs, and I figured, what the heck? I'll give him a call.
Go for it, girl.
He answered on the second ring. Good evening, ma'am.
Ooh,
How may I help you?
I like him already.
He sounded so sexy, and I was afraid I was going to lose my nerve if I hesitated, so I rushed right in. Hi, I hear you give a great massage, and I'd like you to come to my hotel room and give me one. And the ladies, I can't believe I said this. I said, I don't, because, it's not like me this way.
Oh, I know, you're so demure. Yeah.
And I just said, I don't know what came of, but I continued, we can go hot and heavy all night. Cover me in scented oil, even chocolate syrup, whipping cream.
Where did you go?
I'm ready. How does that sound?
Oh my God.
And the man on the phone, he whistled and he goes, whoa, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So.
But you need to press 9 for an outside line.
Got to Alaska.
I did, and it was wonderful, and I'm sure you all had great summers too.
Oh, but the best part of me was coming right under those arches right here to the ranch.
Oh, to the ranch. You gotta finish these fast.
Oh, drink up, ladies.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so good.
So good.
Sounds
Next.
yummy, yummy, yummy.
How cute is this?
Oh,
All right, so what's
look.
next, bro? Okay,
Oh, isn't that cute?
the lid up for me.
Hope it comes out
We
right.
are.
I don't
Hang
know
on.
about that poop poop and all that stuff on there.
It's not a live sweetie.
Oh, it's from Alaska.
This is a cosmopolitan.
Cosmo. Ooh.
Ooh, Cosmo.
And then we're going to start our little game.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness
Do
gracious.
you use Cointreau in your Cosmos robe?
Absolutely.
Oh, if you use Cointreau, I better pace myself with this one.
Oh,
So,
Okay.
that makes them absolutely the most perfect kind.
We are going to play
Cointreau.
a game called Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time.
Yes.
I haven't heard of that one.
Okay.
What is it?
Well, I'm going to throw out a word or a phrase, and you're going to tell a story about it, okay?
Okay.
Just ad-lib whatever comes to your mind, but always start with Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a
I
Time.
don't know, I'm not very good at ad-lib. Okay, Janice, help me out here. The first term will be public bathroom.
Oh,
You start, I'll join in.
oh, that's really a great term, Rose. Okay.
Go with it, baby.
Okay, this is improv, Mary Kay, so you'll like it. It'll be fun.
Okay.
Okay, so public bathroom. All right, so once upon a time, I was traveling down the 15 on my way to San Marcos, and I had to go to the John, and so I pulled over in one of those service areas, got out, locked the car, and headed to the public bathroom.
Good start.
So once I'm inside, I go inside one of the cubicles, and then suddenly a voice comes from the cubicle next to me.
Hi, how are you?
Now, I'm really not the type to start a conversation in the toilet. And I don't really know what got into me, but I answered, doing just fine. And then they said,
So, what are you up to?
what kind of question is that? I'm thinking, this is so bizarre. And so I respond, ooh, just like you, I'm traveling the 15. Now at this point, I am trying to get through and get out of there as quickly as I can, and then I hear another comment.
Can I come over?
Okay, this question is just too weird for me. But I'm trying to be polite, and I'm trying to end the conversation. No, I'm a little busy right now. And then that other person says,
Listen, I'll have to call you back. There's an idiot in the other cubicle who keeps answering all my questions. Cell phone, cell phone. Give me 5.
Okay.
Just go with it, girl.
Okay. It's our turn. You start. Public bathroom.
Man, this is kind of nerve-wracking, Patty. Can we just kind of go back and forth? It might be easier that way.
Yeah,
of course.
okay, go back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. Go.
All right, so here goes. All right. Once upon a time, this woman was out shopping at the mall and had to use the John. When you have to visit a public bathroom, and ladies, you know what I'm talking about, usually you have to go so bad and there's all this line of women, and so you smile politely and just take your place, and no matter how badly you have to go, you're just like, so okay, your turn, Patty.
Okay. So once you're in the front of the line, you walk into the bathroom and you check under all the stalls to find out which one doesn't have any feet. Finally, a door opens. You dash in, nearly knocking down the lady who's coming out. Okay, your turn.
Oh, okay, all right. Then you find the door won't latch. Also, the dispenser for the modern seat covers is empty.
And then you would hang your purse on the hook on the back of the door, but there isn't one. The hook's on too, so you drape the purse around your neck
Around your
and
neck?
prepare to pee.
Around her neck?
Around your neck.
You'd love to sit down, but can't because there's A, no seat cover, and you have to go so badly, you don't take time to wipe the seat or lay toilet paper on it, so you hold the stance.
And you know the stance, ladies. You know, your thighs are burning. And then just about that time, someone starts to pull on the door, the unlocked door. You grab it with your free hand. I'm in here!
And then you reach for the toilet paper dispenser, but find it empty too.
Oh, no.
In your mind, you can hear your mother's voice saying, honey, if you had tried to clean the seat, you would have known there was no toilet paper.
Yeah, but your thighs are continuing to shake. And you remember that tiny little tissue that you blew your nose in yesterday. The one that's still in your purse. You know, the purse is wrapped around your neck, trying to strangle you as it's pulling down.
Okay, so, here we go. So you let go of the door and rummage in your purse, trying to find that tiny piece of tissue all wadded up way at the bottom. It will have to do. You start to unfold it.
Yeah, but as soon as that happens, someone else pushes on the door.
No.
The door hits your purse, which is still hanging around your neck, now wide open. You and your purse topple backward against the tank and the toilet. I'm here!
So, that's okay. You reach for the door, dropping your precious, tiny, crumpled tissue on the floor.
Oh, no.
Lose your footing and slide down onto the toilet seat.
You move up, knowing that all too well that it's too late. Your bare bottom has made contact with every imaginable germ and bacteria and life form known to man. You know, if you just laid down that toilet paper, not that there was ever any anyway, if you'd taken the time to try.
And then you know that your mother would be utterly appalled if she knew. You're certain her bare bottom never touched a public toilet seat because, frankly, dear, you just don't know what kind of diseases you could get.
Of course, by this time, the automatic sensor in the back of the toilet is so confused, it starts to flush, propelling a stream of water on the back of the toilet, and you know what else, ladies? The flush somehow sucks everything down with such force that you grab onto the empty toilet dispenser for fear of being sucked in too.
Well, and at this point, you're just so done. You just give up. You're soaked by the spraying water. You're exhausted. And then you try to wipe with a gum wrapper you found in your pocket. And then slink out inconspicuously to the sink.
Of course, you get to can't figure out how the God blessed water's coming out. You're sitting there trying with your hands and no water's coming. So you just very quiet, make it pretend like you're washing your hands. And you slink out, Karen, having to pass that long line of women still waiting to get into the bathroom.
Oh, and by this time, you're just no longer able to smile politely at them. A kind soul at the very end of the line points out a piece of toilet paper trailing from your shoe. You yank the paper from your shoe, clunk it in her hand, and tell her warmly, "Here, you just might need this."
Ta-da! The end. Oh,
that was brilliant!
We should post you girls on YouTube. Oh, that was a great improv.
That was fun. Oh, what's the next serve like?
Oh no, what's the next drink? This is almost all gone.
Oh my God, Patty, I thought you were going to pace yourself.
I did. I'm the hare and you guys are all the tortoises.
Ah, come on, Patty.
Okay, here's some more Cosmos. Okay.
Oh. So what's the next turn, Rose?
Mammogram.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Hold the presses. Stop everything. I've got this one. Mammogram, I got it. And you're all going to play a little role in this, okay?
Okay, we're ready.
Okay, all right. So, mammogram. Oh, God. Once upon a time, I found myself standing in a courtroom in front of a judge after having been arrested for assaulting a mammogram technician.
Oh my goodness.
You're the judge.
Okay.
Honor, Your Honor, I am sorry. I apologize, but I know I'm guilty, but truly there were extenuating circumstances.
I'd certainly like to hear those extenuating circumstances.
Your Honor, I had a mammogram appointment, which I actually kept, and I was met by this perky little clipboard carrier actually, smiling from ear to ear, and wearing the name tag, Belinda.
Well, this perky little clipboard carrier tilted her head to one side and said, "Hi, I'm Belinda."
And then she proceeded to give me some instructions.
Okay, all you need to do is to step up into this room right here and straight to the waist, and then slip on this little gown. And then when you're ready, you wait out here. Is everything clear?
You know, I'm thinking Belinda just tried decaf. I mean, this isn't rocket scientist. But then she skipped away to prepare the Chamber of Horrors, and I proceeded to follow the instructions and put on that wisp of a cloth that she referred to as a gown, and I waited, and eventually Belinda reappeared.
All righty, tighty. You just follow me.
And into the Chamber of Horrors I went. Belinda drew me close to the machine and began to position and prod and poke until I was caught inside a vise with my chin resting on a piece of cold metal and my body contorted in a strange, unreal position.
Hold on now, don't move.
As if I had a choice. Oh, phew. Oh, once I was finished, Belinda now flipped me literally to the other side and said,
Can you stand on your tippy toes and lean?
Fine.
We want to get everything.
Fine. I'm freezing. I'm bruised. I'm out of air. So why not use the remaining circulation in my legs to finish me off? My body was in a holding position that defied gravity when I heard and I felt a zap. Now this was not the image zap. This was a completely different kind of zap. Complete darkness, because the power is off.
Maintenance is working. I bet they hit a snag. I better go check. I'm going to go see what's happening.
Oh, excuse me. You're not leaving me here alone, are you?
Oh, you fussy puppy. The door's wide open and you'll see the emergency lights. I'll be right back.
Before I could say no, she disappeared. And that's exactly how spaceman extraordinaire found me. Half an hour later, as he stepped into his room with a high beam flashlight, I'm standing on my tiptoes, I'm half naked, part of me is jangling from the jaws of death, and the other part smashed between glass.
Excuse me, ma'am. Do you know the power's out?
Yeah, I kind of do. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Wait! But Bubba didn't turn around. In fact, I could swear he practically jogged away from the room. 2 hours. 2 hours later, Belinda breezes back in wearing a sheepish grin.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, the power came back on and I totally forgot about you. Oh, but silly me, I went to lunch. Are we upset?
And that, Your Honor, is exactly how her head ended up between the clamps.
Well, thank you for your riveting, concise, dare I say, vice-like testimony. And my verdict is case dismissed.
Are you sure that didn't really happen? You came up with that story kind of fast.
You'll never know. I think I need a refill on my Cosmo.
Okay, I have some Cosmos left here.
Okay.
So, Patty, do I even need to ask?
Oh, just keep pouring, baby.
Okay. Mary Kay, you want anything?
Oh, sorry, I'm just a little wimpy when it comes to hard
No,
stuff.
you're big,
I'm fine.
Good, it's more for me.
Well, I really like this game, but none of us can top this mammogram episode.
I know, it's all
So give us a different story topic.
Okay, how about something from a novel?
Novel.
Yeah, any type of novel.
Any kind. Like mystery.
How about like a Harlequin romance novel?
Oh, okay. But no help from each other this time, okay? So why don't you start, Mary Kay, but remember, start with Once Upon a Time.
Okay. All right. Okay, here goes. I gotta get into the moment here. All right. I think I can get into this one.
All right, Mary Kay.
A Harlequin romance, 2016 version.
Ooh, a drama story. Okay.
Once upon a time, I was approached by this handsome man. I had seen him in the distance and thought he was attractive, but didn't expect him to notice me.
Better not be tender toned.
No, you got him. You can keep it. But he did, and he said, "You, please come with me."
Whoa. All right.
Okay.
Commanding performance. Oh.
He grasped me firmly, but gently, just above my elbow, and guided me into a room. His room.
Mary Kay.
Wow.
Then he quietly shut the door, and we were alone.
Oh.
He approached me soundlessly from behind and spoke in a low, reassuring voice close to my ear. Just relax.
It's getting hot up here.
Water. Without warning, he reached down and I felt his strong, calloused hands start at my ankles, gently probing and moving upward along my calves, slowly but steadily. My breath caught in my throat. I knew I should be afraid, but somehow I didn't care. His touch was so experienced, so sure.
God, what kind of books do you read, Mary Kay? It sure isn't one of mine.
Okay. When his hands moved up onto my thighs, I gave a slight shudder and partly closed my eyes. My pulse was pounding. I felt his knowing fingers caress my abdomen, my rib cage. probing, searching, knowing what he wanted. He brought his hands to my shoulders and slid them down my tingling spine. Although I knew nothing about this man, I felt oddly trusting and expectant. I thought, this is a man used to taking charge. He wouldn't take no for an answer. This man would tell me what he wanted.
What?
He would look into my soul and say,
Say what?
Say what? What do you say?
okay, ma'am, you can board your flight now.
You are one hot lady. That was fun. But I'm going to change the pace just a little bit there. I can't touch
Yeah,
that.
you better because you're pacing yourself right through that Cosmo.
Okay, no more martinis until book scene.
Oh my
Go,
goodness.
Patty.
All right, okay. My scene is from an Old West novel. It's called The Gunslinger and the Old Woman.
Whoa. Oh, that's a catchy title.
Oh, it's going to be a catchy story, So, here goes. Once upon a time, an old woman prospector walked up and tied her old mule to the hitching post out in front of the old Mad Dog Saloon.
Oh, I love that
Good
place.
place.
In fact, isn't it right down the road here?
No, geez, that's the stagecoach.
I could have sworn it was a mad dog.
I think it is sometimes.
Sunday nights, right? Okay. After giving the mule a loving pat, he brushed some of the dust off his face and clothes. And just then, a young gunslinger stepped out of the bar, brandishing a gun in one hand and a bottle of whiskey in the other.
Uh-oh.
What are you doing here, yo woman? He asked, brandishing the gun.
He's mean.
Yeah. Same thing as you, old feller, here to get myself a shot of whiskey. Well, only woman in that bar be dancing girls, replied the gunslinger. Old woman, you ever danced? The elderly lady looked at the young man and said, no, I never did, and I never really wanted to. The crowd at this time had begun to gather around the two. The gunslinger looked around at all the onlookers and grinned and said, well, you bag, you're gonna dance now. And he started shooting at the old lady's feet. And the elderly female prospector, she not wanting to have her toe blown off, she just started dancing away and hopping around and doing all this. And the bystanders all started to laugh right along with that gunslinger.
Oh, that's mean.
Well, finally, when his last bullet had been fired, the young man, still laughing, holstered his gun, turned around to go back in the saloon. Well, the old woman turned back to her pack mule, pulled out a double-barreled shotgun, and cocked both hammers. The loud clicks carried clearly. Here's my sound device. The loud clicks carried clearly through the desert air. The crowd stopped laughing immediately. The young gunslinger heard the sounds too and slowly turned around. The silence was just deafening. The crowd watched as the young man stared down the barrels of that double-barreled shotgun. The barrels of that shotgun, they never wavered as the old woman's hand, as she quietly said, son, have you ever kissed a mule's ass? The gunslinger said, swallowed and said, no, ma'am, but I've always wanted to. Yes. The moral of the sports story is don't mess with old women because they didn't get old by being stupid.
And such different stories.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, is it my turn?
Yeah, should be a piece of cake for you.
Okay. Pay attention. This is going to be a very pithy story.
Pissy? Be pissy?
No. Pithy.
Oh, I thought you had a list.
Pithy. Oh, lots of details. Just drink your martini.
It's a pissy.
Truly, it is all in the details.
Okay.
Once upon a time, there was this honeymooning couple, Bob and Betty Hill. And they're vacationing in Europe near Transylvania. And they're driving their rental car along a deserted highway. And it's late, and it's raining really, really hard. And Bob Hill can barely see the road in front of the car. And suddenly the car skids out of control and hits a tree. Moments later, Bob shakes his head to clear the fog, and he looks over at Betty, and she's unconscious, and she's bleeding from a wound in her head. Now, Bob knows he needs to get help for his wife, and so he pulls her out of the car, picks her up, and begins trudging down the road. Oh, he's in luck. He sees lights ahead. And eventually an old multi-storied house comes into view, and Bob approaches the door. He knocks, and a hunchback man answers. Bob blurts out, "I'm Bob Hill, and this is my wife Betty, and we've had an accident, and she's injured and she needs your help. Can I please use your phone?" So the hunchback replies, "We have no phone, but my master is a doctor. Come in, and I will get him for you." So Bob brings Betty into the house, and an elderly, elegant man walks down the stairs. "I'm afraid my assistant may have misled you, Mr. and Mrs. Hill. I am not a medical doctor. I am a scientist. However, it is miles to the nearest clinic, and I do have some basic medical knowledge. Let me take a look at your wife, and I'll see what I can do. Igor, please bring them down to my laboratory." So with that, Igor picks up Betty and carries her down a long,
Sort of like this story.
long set of stairs, with Bob and the elderly, elegant gentleman following. Betty is placed on a table, and suddenly Bob collapses from the strain and his own injuries, and Igor picks him up and places him on the adjacent table. "Things are serious," says the elderly man after examining the couple. "We must do a transfusion." So Igor and his master work feverishly, but alas, Bob and Betty Hill cannot be revived, and they pass on.
This is sad.
My goodness.
Sad story.
Well, the master becomes so distraught that his efforts to save the couple didn't work, and he climbs up the steps to his conservatory, turning to his music as the only solace that works in time of sorrow and frustration. So it is with deep feelings of sadness that he plays his organ.
He plays his organ.
Girls, will you just behave yourself? So, a stirring, haunting melody fills the house, and Igor begins cleaning up the laboratory and preparing the bodies for burial. Suddenly, Igor notices that Betty's hand begins to twitch, and she's keeping time with the music. And then Bob's hand begins to twitch too, and he's keeping time with the music. And then Igor is further stunned as both Bob and Betty Hill suddenly sit up and begin swaying with the music. And so the hunchback runs up the stairs, calling out to his master, "Master, the hills are alive with the sound of music!"
Books yet? Are they all like that?
True literary geniuses.
Okay, after that, I think think we need another drink, and it's time for some apple martini.
All right, well, now this time I may have more than one. Love apples.
Okay?
Yes, please. No, boy.
Okay, Mary Kay. Yes.
Okay.
While I'm pouring, I want you all to be thinking about our next topic.
Okay, what is it?
Because Patty gave me the idea.
Have a drink of
Come
water.
I'm going
You
to...
made these. You said they were going to be weak.
I lied.
Okay, but you gave me an idea when you were talking about the Mad Dog Saloon. And the next subject we're going to talk about, our next topic will be dog.
What?
Dog.
You're serious about that word, Ro? Dog?
Dead serious.
That's a really weird topic. You're going to have to start this one.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you mean.
Okay,
A dog story. This is okay.
you asked for it.
Okay,
Here goes.
go for it, Ro.
Okay, once upon a time,
Once upon a time.
I was at Sam's Club, and I was buying this big bag of Purina dog chow.
Okay.
Or maybe my wonder dog.
Maybe.
That is her real name, by the way. And I was in the checkout line when the woman behind me asked me if I had a dog. I said, no, what do you think, I'm an elephant?
An elephant. I said an elephant.
Here's your sign.
If we've ever seen baby, we know that's not an elephant.
So on impulse, I said, no, I didn't have a dog. But I was starting the Purina diet again. So I added that I probably shouldn't because I ended up in the hospital last time. But I lost 50 pounds before I wakened up in the intensive care ward.
Jeez. Purina diet.
Yes, but I did have some tubes and IVs coming out of all these orifices.
That's too much, too. That's okay.
But I told her it was essentially a perfect diet, and this is the way it works.
Okay.
You load your pants pockets with these little Purina nuggets, and you simply eat one or two every time you feel hungry.
Oh, yummy.
It's nutritionally complete. I mean, it's certified dog.
What?
So it works well, and I was going to try it again.
This is what you're telling her. Okay.
I have to mention here that practically everyone in the line was very enthralled with the story. Horrified, she asked if I ended up in intensive care the last time I tried the diet because the dog food poisoned me. I said, no. I had to stop and pee on a fire hydrant and a car hit me. I thought the guy behind her was going to have a heart attack. He was laughing so hard. But you know, Sam's Club said I can't shop there anymore.
Imagine that. So, anyway, that was good, Ro.
Yeah?
How about this one?
Okay, Mary Kay, go for it.
Okay. So, once upon a time, there's this couple who has a dog that snores.
Oh, no, all dogs
We
snore?
all have that. Yeah, okay.
So, not all, but yeah. Anyway, annoyed that she can't sleep because of the dog snoring, the wife goes to the vet to see if he can help. The vet tells the woman to tie a ribbon around the dog's testicles and he will stop.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right, she says. Anyway, the next night, her husband has a night out with his buddies and the wife goes to bed early. Frustrated, she tosses and turns, unable to sleep because of the dog snoring. Muttering to herself, she goes to the closet, grabs a piece of red ribbon, and ties it carefully around the dog's testicle.
Very careful.
Sure enough, the dog stops snoring. The woman is amazed.
Wow.
So later that night, her husband returns home, drunk from being out drinking with his pals. Now, don't spoil it. He climbs into bed, falls asleep, and immediately begins snoring. So the woman decides maybe the ribbon might work on him. So she goes to the closet again, grabs a piece of blue ribbon and ties it around her husband's testicles. Amazingly, he stops snoring. The woman sleeps soundly. So the husband wakes up from his drunken stupor and stumbles into the bathroom. As he stands in front of the toilet, he glances in the mirror and sees a blue ribbon attached to his privates. He's very confused, and as he walks back into the bedroom, he sees the red ribbon attached to his dog's testicles. He shakes his head, looks at the dog, and whispers, "I don't know where we were or what we did, but by God, we took first and second place!" You better beware!
All right, girls, you set the tone, but I'm going to change. I'm going to use the whole menagerie in my story.
Oh, Patty's petting zoo.
Oh, just have some more martini there, Janice.
This one is really strong.
I know. Oh, boy. Okay. Once upon a time, God created the dog. Afterward, God said, "Sit by all day by the door, by your house, and bark at anyone who comes in or walks by. And for this, I'll give you a lifespan of 20 years. Well, the dog said, "That's a long time to be barking. How about I only take 10 years, and I'll give you back the other 10. And God saw that it was good. On the second day, God created the monkey and said, "Entertain people, do tricks, tell jokes, and make them laugh. For this, I'll give you a 20-year lifespan." The monkey said, "Monkey tricks for 20 years? That's a pretty long time to perform. How about I'll give you the 10 back just like the dog did?" And God again saw that it was good. On the third day, God created the cow. It's in the wrong place. And said, "You must go into the field with the farmer all day long and suffer under that sun, have calves, and give milk to support the farmer's family. For this, I'll give you a lifespan of 60 years. The cow said, "That's a tough life. You want me to live for 60 years. How about 20, and I'll give you back 40. And God agreed it was good. So on the fourth day, God created humans and said, "Eat, sleep, play, marry, enjoy your life. For this, I'll give you 20 years. And the humans said, "20 years, is that all? Could you possibly give me my 20? The 40 the cow gave you back, the 10 the monkey gave back, and the 10 the dog gave you back. That makes 80, okay?" And God said, "Okay, you asked for it." So that is why for our first 20 years, our human years, we eat, sleep, play, and have a ball. On the next 40 years, the cow years, we slave to support our family. After that, for the next 10 years, we do all those monkey tricks to entertain our grandchildren. And for the last 10 years, the dog years, we all sit out in front of our rigs and bark at everybody that happens to go. I sit down and explain to you. Oh, great. All right. I didn't have any idea at all until you came up with that one, but suddenly you gave me my idea.
Okay.
Anybody need any more martinis before I start?
A little bit more now.
Okay.
No more show tunes, please, Janice.
Oh.
We aren't enough martinis out here.
All right, Patty Hooper, I tell you.
I know.
Okay, so my story is going to be about Adam and Eve's dog.
What? They had a dog?
Adam and Eve, yes, they had a dog. All right, so once upon a time, after Rose sits down,
We had to refresh.
Adam and Eve were having a conversation with God. Eve said, "Lord, when we were in the garden, you walked with us every day. And now we don't see you anymore. before, it's difficult for us to remember how much you love us. So God said, I'll create a companion for you that'll be with you and who will be a reflection of my love for you. Regardless of how selfish or childish or unlovable you may be, this new companion will accept you as you are and will love you as I do in spite of yourselves. And so God created this new animal to be a companion for Adam and Eve. And it was a good animal, and God was pleased. And the new animal was pleased to be with Adam and Eve, and he wagged his tail. And Adam said, Lord, that's enough wagging, right? And Adam said, Lord, I have already named all the animals in the kingdom, and I cannot think of a name for this new animal. And so God said, I have created this new animal to be a reflection of my love for you. So his name will be a reflection of my own name. You will call him Dog. And so Dog lived with Adam and Eve and was a companion to them, and he loved them, and they were comforted. And God was pleased, and Dog was content and wagged his tail. After a while, it came to pass that an angel, now this is really stretching it, that an angel came to God and said, Lord, Adam and Eve have become filled with pride. They strut and they preen like peacocks, and they believe that they are worthy of adoration. Dog has indeed taught them that they are loved, but perhaps too well. And so I'm going to put my microphone back on. And so God said, I'll create for them another companion who will be with them and who will see them as they are. This new companion will remind them of their limitations so that they'll know that they are not always worthy of adoration. And God created Cat. And Cat wouldn't obey them. Meow. That's right. And when Adam and Eve gazed into Cat's eyes, they were reminded that they weren't the supreme beings. And Adam and Eve did learn humility, and they were greatly improved. And so God was pleased, the angel was pleased, Dog was happy and wagged his tail, and Cat didn't give a shit one way or the other.
Liked a bit about the cat, especially that last line. Oh, more appletinis, anyone?
Oh, yes. What?
I don't have any more.
It's all gone?
Yeah.
No.
You want another Cosmos?
No. Do you have fixings for a chocolate martini?
Well, no. Oh, I love chocolate. No, I'm sorry. Love Cosmos.
Well, I don't know. Anybody, is there somebody out, I've heard that there's somebody out here who makes really good chocolate martinis. Who is that? Who is that? Marla, come on up. We're going to drink these up. Where is she?
She drank them all.
Drink it all. Oh. They're cutting us off.
Okay, I think
We had this whole thing with Marla, and we were adoring her and everything. Okay.
Okay, we'll pretend these are chocolate.
Okay.
We love you anyway, Marla. Mwah.
Thanks anyway, Marla, so much for being part of our troop.
Okay.
One more time.
now that we all have another drink, I'm going to tell one more dog story. And I didn't make this up. It comes from a neighbor of mine who is on the Temecula police force. He said it was at the end of the day when I parked my police van in front of the station, and as I gathered all my equipment and my canine partner, Jake, who was barking, I saw a little boy staring in at me. "Is that your dog back there?" the little boy said. "Sure is," I replied. Well, puzzled, the little boy looked at me, and then he looked at the back of the van, and he finally said, "Well, what did he do?"
That is so cute. Okay. All right, now what's our next topic?
Oh, I think you should choose one of the big four.
What exactly were the big four?
The big four: blondes, husbands, golf, and old people.
Oh.
I thought we covered those pretty well last year, especially blondes, Mary Kay and I, yeah.
And husbands, I know that the boys wanted you to write a play for them, dissing us wives.
Oh, no.
What, me?
No.
Yeah. Their dreams.
You know, Steve was trying to Google a bunch of jokes about husbands and wives the other day.
Uh-oh.
Well, actually, our final topic is crazy drivers.
Ooh.
So, Patty, you go first.
Okay, crazy drivers, crazy drivers.
Oh,
crazy
it's about
drivers.
men. We are talking about men now, I can tell.
Okay, okay. Okay, here goes. Once upon a time, a passenger in a taxi was heading for LAX and leaned forward to ask the driver a question. He tapped him on the shoulder to get his attention. Well, the driver screamed, lost control of the cab, nearly hit a bus, and finally stopped about 2 inches from this large plate glass window. I mean, he was one crazy driver. Wow. So for a few minutes, everything was deathly quiet in the cab. Then the driver asked, "Are you okay?" He said, "I'm sorry, but you scared the living daylights out of me." And the badly frightened passenger apologized and said, "I didn't realize that just a tap on the shoulder would startle someone so badly."
Not usually.
Not usually.
Right.
And the driver replied, "Well, no, I'm the one who should be sorry. It's really all my fault. You see, today is my very first day of driving a cab. I've been driving a hearse for the last 15 years. That scared me to death.
Okay. All right. That was it. Tap, tap, tap. I like that. All right. So once upon a time, sitting on the side of the highway waiting to catch speeding drivers, a state police officer saw a car puttering along at 22 miles an hour. Now he thought to himself, this crazy driver is just as dangerous as a speeder. So he turned on his lights and he pulled the driver over. And as he approached the car, he noticed that there were 5 little old ladies, 2 in the front seat and 3 in the back, wide-eyed and white as ghosts. The driver was obviously confused, and she said to him, "Officer, I don't understand. I was doing exactly the speed limit. What seems to be the problem?" "Ma'am," the officer replied, "you weren't speeding, but you should know that driving slower than the speed limit can also be a danger to other people." "Slower than the speed limit? No, sir. I was doing the speed limit exactly. Just the right miles per hour. 22, just like it says on that sign, 22. Well, the state policeman could barely contain a chuckle. "Ma'am, the 22 on that sign is the route number, not the speed limit." So, a bit embarrassed, the woman smiled and thanked the officer for pointing out her error. And then the patrolman looked closely at the other women in the car and noticed how frightened they looked, and he spoke to the driver again. "But before I let you go, ma'am, I have to ask, is everyone in this car okay? These ladies seem really shaken and they haven't muttered a single peep this whole time." "Oh, they'll be all right in a minute, officer. We just got off Route 101.
Somebody tell me if I ever get like that. Okay, so this is from a man's perspective.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, that's fine.
okay, here we go. Here we go.
Yes.
So this part's important since we haven't dissed any men yet tonight. So I'm speaking as a man. Okay. Okay, once upon a time, I was driving on the 15. I looked over to my left, and there is a woman in a brand new Cadillac doing 65 miles an hour with her face up next to the rear view mirror, putting on her eyeliner. I looked away for a couple seconds to continue shaving, and when I looked back, she was halfway over in my lane, still working on that makeup. As a man, I don't scare easily, but she scared me so much, I had to put on my seatbelt.
Oh, why did you put on their seatbelt?
And I dropped my electric shaver, which knocked the donut out of my other hand. And all the confusion of trying to straighten out the car using my knees up against the steering wheel, I knocked my cell phone away from my ear, which fell into my coffee, which was between my legs, splashed and burned Big Jim and the twins. Ruined the phone, soaked my trousers, and disconnected an important call. Oh, damn crazy women drivers.
And one final one, and then we can just relax and gossip.
And drink, please.
Okay, Patty. I'm going to mix up another batch of Cosmos in a few minutes. But anyway, to top off our storytelling evening and to tie in with Janice's suggestion that we joke about men, this is not about crazy drivers, but this is about a helicopter ride gone bad.
Oh, you were never ever going to catch me on a
Oh, they're
helicopter.
they're fun.
There's some-
Once upon a time, there were 11 people, 10 men, 1 woman, were in this helicopter when the cabin suddenly filled with smoke. Obviously, the helicopter was designed by a man.
Okay.
There were no parachutes on board because who do you think packed the helicopter?
A man. Okay.
So they found this rope, and they do just about anything to get out of this smoke, and then they are hanging on this rope under the helicopter in flight, 10 men, 1 woman. Now, who would come up with such an insane idea?
A man, of course.
See, I told you the story would be about men. Anyway, the rope was not strong enough to hold and carry them all to safety because evidently a man was in charge of that too. So they decided that one had to make the supreme sacrifice for all the others. Otherwise, they were all going to fall. The men argued and argued, typical, but weren't able to choose the person who would have to let go.
They were analyzing. That's why they're having a meeting.
But the woman gave this very touching speech. She said she would voluntarily let go of the rope because as a woman, she was used to giving up everything for her husband and her children and for the men in general, and she was always making sacrifices with so little in return. And as soon as she finished her speech, all the men started to clap.
To drink. Okay, Ro, let's make some more Cosmos.
Okay.
All right, ladies.
All right, ladies, it's time for the revenge of the husbands. We've had this. Come on up here, Steve. Where are you?
No.
Revenge. What the heck?
What is going on?
You're crashing party. You're having way too much fun. All right, folks, a 15-minute break. Get a little chow over here. Go to the bathroom. Come back 15 minutes for the revenge of the husband.
All right, everybody. Are you ready for Revenge of the Husbands?
Hey, yes. Yes.
All right, gentlemen, let's begin. The first subject tonight is wives.
My favorite.
Yes, we all have one. Well, let's begin with some great quotes from the masters. Socrates, Plato, Henny Youngman,
Yeah. Why not?
who once said, men think that loading the dishwasher is getting their wives drunk.
That's terrible.
Well, when a man steals your wife, there's no better revenge than letting him keep her. You know, after marriage, a husband or wife become two sides of a coin. Really? You know that? Yeah. They just can't face each other, but they still have to stay together.
And the great Socrates once said, by all means marry. If you get a good wife, you'll be happy. If you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher.
Well, a woman inspires us to do great things and then prevents us from achieving them.
Oh, bah humbug.
You know, really, guys, the great question has always been, what does a woman want? Yeah, I remember this.
Who knows?
Well, I had some words with my wife, and she had some paragraphs for me.
Yep. Well, some people ask, why Mary Kay and I stay married for so long? And I said, well, we go to restaurants twice a week. And we have some drinks, dinner, little dancing. Yep. I go on Tuesday, she goes on Friday.
You know, there is a way of transferring funds even faster than electronic transfer. What is that? It's called marriage. Well, I had bad luck with both my wives. The first one left me.
Oh.
The second one didn't.
Throw something at him.
Gentlemen, there are two secrets to long marriage. Which, when you're wrong, admit it.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, when you're right, just shut up.
You know, the most effective way to remember your wife's birthday is forget just one. Well, you know what I did before I married? Anything I wanted.
Yep, that's right. Mary Kay and I were happy for 20 years, and then we met.
No! You know, a good wife always forgives her husband when she's wrong. Well, I know a man who put an ad in Craigslist. It said, wife wanted. The next day he got 100 responses and they all said the same thing. What? Please take mine.
So this guy says, my wife's an angel. And the other guy looks down and said, you're lucky. Mine's still alive.
Oh, that's low. You know, I'm sure you've all heard of Red Skeleton. You ever read?
Yeah, I read that.
Well, we found some clips that he did about marriage.
Oh, really?
Here's one. We sleep in separate beds. Hers is in California, mine's in Texas. Well, I take my wife everywhere. Unfortunately, she keeps finding her way back.
I asked my wife one time, what do you want for your anniversary? She said, I'd like to go someplace I haven't been for a very long time. And I said, how about the kitchen?
My wife and I are very romantic. Everywhere we go, we hold hands.
Really?
Yes, if I let go, she shocks. You know, my wife got a mud pack and looked great for 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
The mud fell off.
Well, my wife ran after the garbage truck. And she said, driver, driver, am I too late? He looks at her and goes, no, jump in.
You know, I did marry Miss Wright. I just didn't know her first name was always.
Well, I haven't spoken to my wife in 18 months.
Really?
Yes, I hate to interrupt her.
All right, you got a long old rant these jokes about marriage. But anyway, yesterday Mary Kay suggested that I should do something useful with my life.
Like what?
Like playing golf and drinking wine is not something useful.
Right.
So she kept talking about me doing something, like joining a book club or something
I
stupid
didn't
like
even know
that.
you could read.
I had to put a stop to these suggestions, so I did something very proactive.
What did you?
I went out and joined a parachute club.
Oh man.
Parachute?
Yes, a parachute
Better
club.
than me.
Parachute club. And my first thing Mary Kay said was, Steve, you're over 60 years old. You know, you're jumping out of airplanes? What the heck is this all about?
Especially a
I
good
said,
airplane.
honey, I joined this, but here's the card, the membership card to prove it. She looked at the membership card and goes, where are your glasses? This is a prostitute club. So I knew I was in a little bit of trouble at that point.
Big trouble.
Especially since I'd already paid for 5 jumps a week.
You know, this year I was on the 50-yard line tickets at the Super Bowl. Go Broncos! Sorry, Phil, if you're out there. Go Kim, huh? I noticed the seat next to me was empty.
What? For a Super Bowl?
Yeah. I asked the guy on the other side if anyone was sitting there.
What do you say?
No, he replied. The seat is empty. What? I said, that's incredible. Who on earth would leave a seat empty at the Super Bowl?
Especially the Broncos.
Sporting event of the year. The man replied, well, actually, the seat belongs to me. I was supposed to come with my wife, but she passed away.
That's sad.
This will be the first Super Bowl that we haven't been together since we were married in 1967.
Wow. Long time.
And I said, I'm sorry. I feel terrible about this. Couldn't you find someone else to come and take your seat, a friend or a relative?
Exactly.
Or even a neighbor? The man shook his head and he said, no, they're all at the funeral.
The man was on his Harley. He was riding along to California Beach when suddenly the clouds above him got really threatening. They split open, and God spoke to him in a booming voice, saying, my son, because you've been so faithful to me over the years, I'm going to grant you one wish.
Oh, really, God? That's incredible. Well, I've got one. My favorite place is Hawaii. Could you build me a bridge to Hawaii so I could ride my Harley there anytime I want?
Yeah.
What? Your request is materialistic. Think of the enormous challenges involved. The supports required to go to the bottom of the Pacific, the concrete, the steel. Of course I can do it, but I can't grant such a materialistic request.
Oh, you're right, God. That was probably not very good. But okay, I've got another one. You need to get me out of this jam. I wish I could understand my wife.
Oh, good luck.
I want to know how she feels inside when she gives me that silent treatment.
Yep.
Why she always gets so mad when I try to help her. Huh. You know, God, what she means when she says, oh, there's nothing wrong.
Been there, done that.
So, I'm at my last rope here. Can you help me, please? I need to understand her.
I see. Well, now, you want 2 lanes or 4 on that bridge?
Okay, guys, let's get personal.
Okay.
A true story here. This is a true one. Janice has been nagging me for I don't know how long to get a colonoscopy.
Been there, done that, yeah.
So I finally gave in and I scheduled a consultation with the doc and he explained the process. I didn't hear much after he told me about the colon. All I could think of is he's going to stick a 17,000-foot tube up my behind.
Oh, here's him.
So I made this appointment for the procedure. On the day before, I didn't eat any solid food. In the evening, I took a product called Movie Prep.
Sounds like a U-Haul product.
I wish it were. I mixed together 2 packets of powder in this gallon of lukewarm water. I drank the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
It tasted awful. Tasted like a mixture of goat spit, urinal cleanser, and just a hint of lemon.
Hey, goat spit's not that bad.
You gotta love lemon.
Let me tell you, movie prep is a nuclear laxative. Have you ever seen a space shuttle launch? Sure. Well, my body was a shuttle, and the commode needed a seatbelt. When I finally thought it was over, here it comes, I had to drink another batch of movie prep. This time I swore my bowels traveled into the future, started eliminating food before I'd even eaten yet. The next morning, Janice drove me to the clinic. I was led inside this little curtain space, took off my clothes and put on one of those hospital garments designed by some kind of a sadist pervert. You know, the kind that makes you feel naked even though you never are.
Drafty.
The nurse put a little needle in my vein on my left hand and wheeled me into the procedure room. I didn't see the 17,000-foot tube, but I knew it was there somewhere. The doc rolled me into the, on my left side. They hooked up something in the needle in my hand. There was music playing, and I realized the song was Dancing Queen by ABBA.
ABBA, my favorite group.
I remarked that of all the songs that could be playing, this has got to be the least favorite, Dancing Queen, at least appropriate. You want me to stir it up? Somebody said, hardy har har. And then it was time, the moment I have been dreading.
No.
If you're squeamish, prepare yourself, because I'm going to tell you exactly what it was like.
What was it like, Jim?
I have no idea, really. I slept through the whole thing. ABBA was yelling, Dancing Queen, feel the beat of the tambourine. The next moment I was back in the other room, waking up in a very mellow mood, and hearing a melody of flatulation coming from all the beds around me.
I remember that.
Doc was there too. He asked me how I felt. I felt excellent. I felt even more excellent when he told me it was all over. And my colon had passed with flying colors.
All right.
I have never been prouder of an internal organ. And he said, as an added bonus, your hands are normal. I have no idea what he meant by that.
All right, Jim, maybe a little bit too much TMI. But on that subject of colonoscopy, a physician claimed that the following are actual comments made by male patients following a colonoscopy. Jim?
Take it easy, Doc. You're boldly going where no man has ever been before.
Hey, Doc, have you found Amelia Earhart yet?
Can you hear me now?
You know, in the state of Arkansas, this will be grounds for marriage.
And my favorite, hey, now I know what a Muppet feels like.
Hey, Doc, did you find my dignity in there?
You used to be an executive at Enron, didn't you?
And the best one of all, here it is, guys.
Ready.
Could you write a note for my wife saying my head is not up there?
All right. And now, folks, we're going to move along. Our next subject is how to start a fight.
All right.
Been there, done that.
I've been there. Yeah.
We're pretty good at that. So listen up. I got the first one. Mary Kay and I were at our high school reunion, and she kept staring at this drunk sitting at the side of the room at a table, stirring his glass. And I said, "Do you know this guy?" "Yes," she sighed. "He's my ex-boyfriend. We broke up right before high school ended, and hasn't been sober since." And I said, "My God, how can somebody go that long celebrating?"
And then my card. and I are watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire while we're in bed. How many of you folks you've seen that show?
Yeah.
If you've ever seen it, you know what it's like. I turned to Janice and asked, "Do you want to have sex?"
No.
"No," she answered. Then I asked, "Is that your final answer?" She replied, "Yes." So I said, "Then I'd like to phone a friend."
One weekend I took Patty to a really fine restaurant. For some inexplicable reason, the waiter took my order first. So I told him, I said, "Yes, I'd like the rump steak rare, please."
All right.
He paused a moment and said, "Aren't you worried about the bad cow?" I said, "Nah, she can order for herself."
When our lawnmower broke, Mary Kay kept nagging me to get it fixed.
Yep.
I always had something better to do, like play golf and drink a little wine. So she tried to make her point. She got out in the front lawn, the tall grass, and she had a little scissors with her, and she was snipping at the grass out front.
Take it forever.
So, well, I can make a point too. So I went back in the house, I brought out a toothbrush, and I said, "When you're finished mowing the lawn, you just, sweep the driveway." And then
The fight started.
Denise was hinting about what she wanted for her 50th wedding anniversary. She said, "I want something shiny that goes from a 0 to 165 in 2 seconds."
Wow, sounds like a expensive car.
So I bought her a bathroom scale.
And then that's how I started. Well, Patty was looking all forlorn and looking in the bedroom mirror. She said to me, "You know, I look old and fat and ugly. I really could use a compliment right now."
Don't go there.
So I said, "Well, sweetie, your eyesight's damn near perfect." And then the fight started.
All right, we've bashed the wives enough. Let's go on, and I'm going to tell you about these old guys now.
Old like us. Huh?
First one says windy, isn't it? Second one says, no, it's Thursday. Third one says, so am I. Let's go get a beer.
Well, I know an old guy who was telling his neighbor he just bought a brand new hearing aid. Cost him $4,000.
Whoa!
State of the art. It's perfect. So his neighbor asked him, "Well, what kind is it?" The old boy said, 1230.
So Morris was an 82-year-old old man. He went to see the doctor. And a few days later, after his doctor appointment, the doctor saw him walking down the street with a gorgeous woman on his hand.
Ooh, I like that, Doc.
Skipping his step. So the next time Morris came back in for another appointment, he said, "Morris, you're really doing well, aren't you?" He said, "Yeah, Doc, just took your advice." He said, what advice did I give you?" He said, "Get a hot mama and be cheerful."
Oh, yeah.
Good advice. Where's that doctor?
Doctor looked down and said, "No, Morris, that's not what I said. I said, you have a heart murmur. Be careful."
And one more, guys, okay. This little old man shuffled into this very slowly into this ice cream parlor, pulled himself up on the seat, up onto the stool, really had a tough time catching his breath. He ordered banana split. The waitress asked, "Crushed nuts?" He said, "No arthritis."
All right, now we're going to move on to some real groaners. Okay, so feel free to groan if you have that urge. So we're fine with that. Okay, this guy, we'll call him Fred. He was driving in the desert, northern Arizona, on a lonely highway, and he saw this old Navajo man walking alongside the road. So he thought, well, I'll stop and ask the old Navajo man if he wants a ride.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kimasabi.
Well, resuming the journey, Fred tried to make a bit of small talk, but the old Navajo man just sat there and looked around the car and just was taking in all the sights and didn't say anything. Until he noticed a small bag next to Fred by the side of the front seat.
Kimasabi, what in the bag?
It's a nice bottle of Cabernet. I got it for my wife.
Kimasabi, good trade.
Good one, guys, it was. So here's another one. A man went to the police department to make a report. He said, my wife is missing. She went shopping yesterday, and she hasn't come home since.
All right, sir, let me fill out this missing person report. What's her height?
Gee, I'm not sure. A little over 5 feet?
How about her weight?
Oh, boy. I don't know. Not slim, but not fat either.
Color of her eyes?
Gosh, I've never noticed.
Color of her hair?
It changes a couple times a year. Maybe light brown now?
When you saw her last, what was she wearing?
Oh, boy. I think it was a skirt. No, shorts. I just don't remember exactly.
Well, what kind of car was she driving?
She was driving my truck.
What kind of truck was it?
It was a 2015 Ford 150 King Cab Ranch. 4x4 Eco Boost 5-liter V8 engine. Special order manual transmission. It had custom matching white cover on the bed, custom leather seats, DVD and navigation. 40-channel CB radio. 6 cup holders, 4 power outlets. Custom floor mats, trailer package with a gold hitch. Put on special alloy wheels for Michelin off-roads. And my wife put this 3-inch scratch in the left rear fender.
Well, don't worry, sir. We'll find your truck.
Okay. Well, I used to fly a lot when I was in business, and I sure wish this would have happened to me. So this guy boards the plane, he takes his seat, and as other people are boarding, he looks down the aisle, and here comes this gorgeous woman walking down the aisle.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah, well, there was an empty seat next to his, and he was hoping, and sure enough, as luck would have it, she sat right next to him.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And, trying to start a quick conversation, the man said,
Excuse me, miss. Is this a business trip or pleasure?
"It's business. I'm going to the annual Nymphomaniac convention in Montreal. That's in Massachusetts.
Wow. What's your role at this convention?
I'm a lecturer. I speak. I use information that I have learned to debunk all of the myths about sexuality."
Okay.
Really? What kind of myths are we talking about?
Well, one myth is that the African-American men are the most well-endowed of all men.
Interesting.
So I did some hands-on research. It was hard. I discovered over a long period of years that the most well-endowed man is the American Indian.
Oh, wow. Native Americans, wow.
Yeah. And the second myth is that Frenchmen make the best lovers.
Ooh, interesting.
Well, I just couldn't take that line down. Or did I? Well, whatever. I found out that the best American lover was actually of Jewish descent.
Jewish? Who would have thought?
Yes.
Interesting.
What else?
And then the last one was we always set out to try and find the lover with the most stamina. We found it was the American Southern redneck.
What?
Damn those rednecks
I'm
anyway.
sorry, I need a little air. You want some air?
Good.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't even know your name. I don't know why I'm telling you all this.
Well, it's Tonto. Tonto Goldstein. But my friends call me Bubba.
Oh, boy. You guys are bad. Okay, Tondo Bubba, don't sing. That's terrible. I've got one for you now. My friend John received a parrot as a gift, but soon realized he had a bad attitude and not seen vocabulary.
Like a bird, someone getting the bird.
John tried to change the bird's language by saying only polite words, playing soft music, and doing all he could to clean up the bird's word choices.
Oh, yeah,
No
right.
luck.
Who's doing the drinking?
Tough to do.
Eventually, John got fed up, yelled at the parrot yelled back. John grabbed the bird on impulse, threw him in the freezer.
Jim, that's cold.
For a few minutes, the parrot was squawking and kicked and screamed, then suddenly, not a peep. Didn't hear a sound from him.
Imagine that.
While John opened the freezer door, parrot stepped out and said, "I believe I may have offended you. With my rude language and actions, I'm sincerely remorseful of my inappropriate transgressions, and I truly intend to do everything I can to correct my rude and unforgivable behavior." Wow. John was absolutely stunned at the bird's meek attitude, as he was about to ask him, "Why such a dramatic change? What? May I ask you what the turkey did?"
All right, speaking of turkeys, this next joke is pretty bad. You just have to deal with it because I got to read it. It's right here. Okay, so for all of you people who do not live in Las Vegas, you'll probably be a little shocked to know that there are actually more churches in Las Vegas than there are casinos.
Get out of here.
Says it right here. Yep. So, when the basket's passed around for collection, a lot of people put in chips from casinos instead of cash.
Makes sense. Good money.
So, right, so all the churches have all these chips. So they needed a way to get them repaired, to get them refunded. So they take them all down to the local Franciscan monastery.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's what
serious?
they do. And right there, they're sorted, they're cashed in to the proper casino, and the money's returned to each appropriate church.
Really?
Now, you ask yourself, who does this?
Yeah, who does?
Who does all this stuff?
Who does?
Are you ready for this?
Ready?
Chipmunks.
Okay. Your husbands crashed my party and proceed to upstage us with their revenge
Well, that wasn't hard.
jokes. I think you're feeling insecure.
No.
Thank goodness my Steve isn't that way.
Right,
Yeah, thank God.
right.
Boy.
You know what? He never would have stooped to this level. So let's put this revenge and take back our party.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
boy.
well, I'm with you, Rose. So let's start taking it back, honey. We have been married. I'm speaking into your microphone because I gave it to you. We have been married 50 years. Now, do you still find me attractive?
Oh, schnookums. You're my alphabet wife. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
Oh, honey, what the heck does that mean?
Adorable, beautiful, cute, delightful, elegant, foxy, gorgeous, and hot.
Wow. Whoa.
Well, that's really nice, but what about A-I-J-K?
I'm just kidding.
So Steve, did you see the note I left on the refrigerator?
Yes, I did, but it didn't make any sense.
Steve, I wrote, "This just isn't working anymore. I've gone to stay with my mother."
I know, but it didn't make any sense. I opened up the door, the light came on, the beer was cold, the refrigerator was working just fine.
Yeah, let's do it. Sounds good to me.
You know, there's some trouble with the car.
What?
There's water in the carburetor.
That's ridiculous.
Carburetor?
I tell you, there's water in the carburetor.
You don't even know what a carburetor is. I'll have to go check it. Where's the car?
In the pool.
That's good. That's good.
All right. Okay, guys, we've had our fun. We've joked about wives. We joked about old people. Told a bunch of groaners. But we forgot about golf.
Yeah.
And blondes.
Yeah.
Blondes.
Well then, since you crashed our party, you have to play our game. Once upon a time.
Oh, boy. You gotta be kidding.
Well, the three
No
of you,
way.
yes, the three of you have to tell a story about golf and blondes.
Oh, boy.
Just go back and forth and ad lib. Steve, it sounds like you were the one that invaded this party and it was your idea, so you have to begin with once upon a time.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Okay, once upon a time, there was this guy who got on a bus with both of his front trouser pockets stuffed full of golf balls he'd gotten from the driving range earlier that day. Bob?
Just read the line.
Thank you, Rob.
Don't analyze, Bob.
Tonto.
What day is it? Hey, Bubba.
The puzzled blonde kept looking at him in his bulging pockets. Finally, after many glances from her, he said, "It's golf balls." Oh, over here. That didn't stop the blonde from looking at him, though. Take it away, Jim.
I don't know after that. All right. The blonde continued to look at him for a very long time, thinking, well, at least as much of a blonde can think.
Hey, where
About what he had said. After several minutes, not being able to contain her curiosity any longer, does it hurt as much as tennis elbow?
Oh, that's enough. That is enough. Okay, fellas, you fulfilled the initiation rites. What do you say, ladies? Should we let them stay?
Sure,
Just for the night, though. Just tonight. Just tonight.
I don't know, but next year it's gonna be just us girls. Boy, that's for sure. Party crap,
All right.
yeah.
Where's the vodka roll? I'll show you how to make a great martini if there's anything left.
Maybe not. Well, on that note, dear friends, we've had enough revenge and need to bring this evening to a close. I apologize for the antics of their husbands.
Whoa. What?
You know, Rose, Steve knew about this. He would have been here if he hadn't had that emergency meeting.
I never thought I'd be grateful for a meeting. Ooh.
Wait a minute. I think I saw Steve out here somewhere. Steve!
What?
Steve, where are
He's
you?
not here.
Get up here. Join the party. There he is. Come on. Hey, all right. Steve.
How you doing, everybody?
Hey, how you doing, my man? Welcome.
Hey, Steve. I'm sorry I was at a meeting. I would have loved to have been here.
Well, actually, I'm glad you're here, honey. I was sort of becoming the odd woman out at my own party.
She's awesome.
Well, she is on very.
But now I'm going to make you work for the right to join us.
Okay.
You've been a great audience, and as one final little bit, since we haven't done a lot of jokes about old people,
Speak for yourself.
Steve and I would like to portray an elderly couple just entering into the state of marriage.
Oh, sweet.
So, once upon a time, that's been our theme for the whole night,
That's
okay? Okay. John, who's 92, and Rebecca, 89, from Jojoba.
Well, no.
They're all excited about their decision to get married. Yeah.
Sweet.
They go for a stroll to discuss the wedding, and on the way they pass a drugstore. John suggests they go in and chats with the pharmacist. That'll be you, Bob, okay? You're behind the counter, you're the pharmacist. Steve, you're talking to Bob, the pharmacist, okay?
Okay. Hello, Bob. Are you the owner?
Yes, I am.
Well, you know, we're getting married, and
Congratulations.
we're 92. We're getting up there a little bit. Just
Speak for
want to
yourself, I'm only 89.
just make sure you have some things that we could probably use, and we want to make sure you have a lot of things. And we're about to get married, and need to know: do you sell heart medication?
Of course.
How about medicine for circulation?
All kinds.
How about medicine for rheumatism and
Definitely.
stiff joints?
Definitely.
How about suppositories?
You bet.
How about for memory issues like Alzheimer's or dementia, or things like that?
Yes.
Steve, ask about Viagra.
Jim, Viagra? Look at this hand. What's my last name? It's Goldberg.
Yes, the words.
Well, what about vitamins and sleeping pills, Geritol, and antidotes for Parkinson's disease?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, honey, but what about adult diapers?
Sure. Go ahead.
Wonderful. We'd like